Let's imagine something for a moment. You say no, not to something cruel, not to something selfish, not to something unreasonable. You say no to one more task, one more favor, and one more weekend event, one more responsibility that would take that last piece of your energy. And immediately inside you, a courtroom opens. The inner critic stands up and says, selfish, disappointing, ungrateful, not kind, not loyal, not who you are supposed to be. And suddenly you are on a trial. Your character is on trial. Your love is on trial. And even though the boundary was necessary, your body reacts as if you have betrayed someone. Cold stomach, a tight chest, racing thoughts. I need to explain, I need to soften, I need to take it back. And if that's familiar today, life is for you because we're going to talk about why saying no can feel like betrayal, why guilt is not proof you did something wrong, and how to start honoring your no without abandoning your kindness. And if this speaks to you, comment no below and I'll send you today's boundary reflection practice. Type live if you're here live or replay if you're watching this later, and put yes in the comments if you have ever said no and then immediately felt guilty enough to want to undo it. And it's not just about saying no. If it were only about the word, it would be very simple, right? No, done. But for many of us, no is not just a word. No touches identity, no touches belonging, no touches love, no touches the old question: will I still be accepted if I stop being so available? And that is why it can feel so heavy. Because many of us were taught directly or indirectly, be helpful, be easy, be kind, be available, do not complain, do not make things harder, do not disappoint people, do not need too much, do not ask for too much, do not make anyone uncomfortable. And at first, those rules can look like goodness, like they're great. But over time, if your yes keep costing your body, your peace, your health, your time, your truth, and your self-respect, then it's no longer kindness. It is self-abandonment dressed as kindness, and that doesn't work for you. And I want to give you a different way to see this. You see, many women are not just dealing with guilt, they're dealing with an old contract, a contract they never consciously signed but have been living by for years. And the contract says, if I'm agreeable, I will be loved. If I'm useful, I will be valued. If I do not disappoint people, I will be safe. If I carry more, I will be respected. If I say yes, I will belong. If I need less, I will be easier to love. And then one day you try to say no, and the old contract panics because your system thinks, if I stop saying yes, who will I be? If I stop being useful, will they still value me? And if I disappoint someone, will I lose love? If I protect my energy, am I becoming selfish? And this is why guilt after a no can feel so intense. If it is not always your truth speaking, it's the old contract being challenged. And sometimes guilt is not saying you did something wrong. Most of the time it's not. But sometimes is the guilt is even saying you're breaking a rule that once kept you safe. But that's not true. No. And when I was younger, I loved more than I should have. I said yes when something inside me knew that I should be saying no. I tolerated behavior in relationship that was not good for me, and I did too much by myself. I wanted to handle it all. And somewhere inside, I think I believed exhaustion came with a golden medal. Like if I could prove how much I carried, how much I endured, how much I did without asking, then maybe that meant I was strong enough, good enough, worthy enough. But exhaustion does not give you a medal. It gives you an empty body. It gives you resentment. It gives you disconnection. It gives you the quiet feeling that everyone gets access to you except you. And in motherhood, this can be especially intense. You give the last bits of energy, the last patience, the last resource, the last attention, the last softness. And then you wonder why you have nothing left for yourself. But then the oxygen mask metaphor is true for a reason, you know? On a plane, they do not say help everyone else first and then try to breathe if anything is left. No, they say put your own oxygen mask on first, not because you matter more than everyone else, but because you also matter. And because if you cannot breathe, you cannot truly help anybody else. And put oxygen in the comments if you need to remember that protecting your energy is not selfish, it is necessary. And the discomfort after no does not mean that something was wrong. I mentioned that before. And what it means is that the habit is changing, because you could have spent years, maybe decades, being the one who says yes, the one who adapts, the one who carries, the one who smooths things over, the one who makes it work, the one who protects everyone else from disappointment. So of course the first no can feel strange, of course your body reacts, of course your mind tries to pull you back into the old pattern. And that does not mean you are failing. No, that means you are building a new relationship with yourself. And no may feel shaky at first. You may say no and then want to explain for the next 20 minutes, or you say no and then you feel the guilt in your stomach, or you say no and then you wonder if you were too harsh, or you may say no and then cry. That does not mean you should never say no again. No, it means your system is learning that you can protect yourself and still be a good person. And this is the revolution. You can say no and still be loving. You can disappoint someone and still be kind. You can protect your time and still care. You can refuse overgiving and still be generous. And you can stop betraying yourself and still belong. And there are two skills many of us have to rebuild. And that's the first one is the courage to ask for help, which is so important, and the discipline to protect your energy, even more important. So let's start with asking for help. You see, for years, I wanted to do everything by myself. I thought asking for help made me look weak. I thought needing support meant I was not capable enough. But what I've learned is this: asking for help is so far away from weakness. It's the opposite thing. It's wisdom, actually. It's self respect, it's trust. And often people will help sincerely when you ask sincerely, but they cannot support you if you're just hiding, and or if you're hiding the need for support. And then they cannot carry what we keep pretending is not heavy. Then there is the second one, the discipline to protect your energy. And this is where we have to become really truthful. So, where is your energy going? Who has access to it? What do you keep saying yes? Why do you keep saying yes? Or what do you keep saying yes to out of guilt? And what conversations drain you every time? What responsibilities are you carrying only because it is easier than asking for a different arrangement? And yeah, it might sometimes sound harsh to say, stop wasting your energy on the wrong things and the wrong people. But that is the truth that saves your life force. And you have to become the primary protector of your peace and energy. Not because the other people do not matter, but because you matter too. And you have to protect that. So today's practice is no, saying no without betrayal. And let me give you just three questions. It's a simple one, and you can use it when you feel the guilt rise after setting a boundary, or when you are about to say yes even though your body is saying no. And the first question is, what am I afraid this no will cost me? And please be truthful. It could be love, approval, peace, or belonging, or a good image, or someone's comfort, or being seen as a kind, or being seen as a capable. And this just show you the old contract. And then the second one is, what would my yes cost me? And this is usually the question we forget to ask. And what would that yes cost me? It is maybe energy, sleep, health, time, resentment, self-respect, presence with your kids, your peace, your truth. Because we often measure the cost of the no but ignore the cost of another dishonest yes. And the third question is, come on. And the third question is, what is the cleanest sentence I can say? And it's not a speech, it's not an essay, not a courtroom defense, just one clear sentence. It could be, I cannot take that on. I'm not available this weekend. I need more time before I answer, or that does not work for me, or I cannot do this without support, or I need to step back from this. Okay. And you can say something like, thank you for thinking of me, but I have to say no. That's the practice. So what am I afraid this no will cost me? What would my yes cost me? And what is the cleanest sentence I can say about that? Okay. Into reply of what somebody's asking from me. Okay. And if you want to take this deeper, sit with these questions later today. Who taught me that saying no meant I was selfish? What sentence did I hear growing up about being good, helpful, agreeable, or easy? And what task am I doing right now out of obligation that could be delegated, delayed, or dropped? What boundary would my rested future self thank me for setting today? And where am I asking my body to pay the price for my fear of disappointing someone? And there's another one, and that's, what part of me am I betraying when I keep saying yes? So stay with those questions gently, not to blame yourself, just to come back, just to become aware. What kind of contracts did you sign? Maybe you're not aware of them, and it's time to get aware. Okay. So no is not a rejection, is the next thing I want you to remember. It's a protection. And no can protect your energy, your health, your clarity, your family, your integrity, sleep, peace, future, your ability to give from love instead of resentment. Because when you operate from empty, you are not giving your best. You're giving the depletion. And depletion eventually changes the quality of your presence. And it may look like giving, but inside it can become bitterness, distance, irritation, numbness, exhaustion. And nobody really benefits from the version of you who is physically present but emotionally gone, So saying no is not the end of kindness. It's the beginning of honest kindness, aligned kindness, and the kindness that includes you. So before we close today, I want you to remember that guilt is not proof that you're doing something wrong. It is a proof that you're doing something different, something truer, something healthier, something your old self would have called dangerous because she believed love had to be earned through overgiving. But you're allowed to walk away from what no longer feels fair. You're allowed to ask for help. You're allowed to protect your time and energy. You are allowed to say no without turning it into a trial. And if you want the no without betrayal practice from today, comment no below or send me no in DMs and I'll send it to you. And if this pattern runs deep for you, if your yes keep costing you your peace, your body, your voice, and your self-respect, this is the kind of work I support women with inside my Coming Home to Yourself coaching. So message me coming home and we can begin the conversation. But remember this, every time you honor your no, you're saying a deeper yes to yourself. So thank you for being here today and honor your no.